Devotion gives you power. Right? Now, the reason why devotion is important because it is the very essence of the woman, the female. It's the very essence of every female. It is the devotion of the female to the universe that creates all of us. Devotion to the husband, devotion to the family, and so on. The minute the female loses devotion, pray. Start praying, because if she decides to lose devotion, the whole house is messed, is in chaos and is in destruction. Okay, if you don't understand that, let me give you a good example. If the man fools around outside and he comes back, the house is still intact. Beds are made, kids are taken out, and everything. But if the woman fools around, what happens? The house is not in good condition anymore. The kids are going to be messed up, the beds are going to be messed up, the cooking is going to be messed up, everything is going to be messed up. See how the difference in the power of the woman versus the man? Right? A man goes to work, come home, the house is spick and span, everything is clean. But, the home is prepared, the kids are fed, and everything. Right? It's not the same if the man does it. I don't care how much he says he is equal to her. I don't agree with that. He still cannot do it like the woman, the tender touch of the woman. Right? So he can say he cooks and everything, but doesn't do anything. A woman's work is never done. A woman has 100 things, right now? 200 things to do.
Yes.
Women have so many things to do, right?
Right.
To make that house such a happy house. So if she loses her devotion, what happens? All the power of the man is gone. All the power of everything is gone. So devotion is the key. Now, I think everybody thinks that devotion is something religious. And I'm going to show you that devotion today is not something religious. It is something that you have to inbred in yourself to be able to have power in your life. And if you are unhappy, if you're not happy with your life right now, it's because of the lack of devotion. Now let's give a good example of devotion. Right? And I'm going to use the workplace, because the workplace is where it shows people have fake devotion. In other words, if your boss, right, tells you something to do, you do it. But if your wife tells you something, the same thing to do, you will not do it. Go get me a cup of coffee. Right? She will not do it. Or you will not do it. What is the difference? Okay, let's give another example. Let's say your boss, you're the manager of a company, and the owner of the company tells you, you have to fire this person. But this person is a close friend of yours. This person is close to you and you don't want to fire this person because you love this person. And you are the manager. And the owner said, well, you have to fire that person. What will you do? Huh?
Gotta do what the boss says.
What will you say?
Fire the person.
You would? Even though it's a friend, even though it's a close friend of yours?
It depends.
If you don't, you might end up being fired also.
Fired so yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can try to convince your boss.
But let's say you don't care if you get fired, and you don't agree with the boss.
You don't fire. Talk to them.
What will be the karma of that?
So whatever he was getting fired for is going to be carry on, and he's
It's
going to
right.
be doing the same thing.
If the manager, you kind of got it there. If the manager refuses to fire the person against the boss wishes, he's creating karma. Right? So what is he did? He just lost his devotion. Now, why is it important, even though you might think that it's wrong to fire the person even though he's a good person, why does he have to do it? He has to do it because of what? Because he gets paid. Because he gets paid. And why because he gets paid? Because he is taking that owner's money. That's what keeps him alive. So by all means, he has to be devoted to the owner. Now, if he wasn't taking the owner's money and he wasn't working for the owner, that would be a different story. So now, by rule, he has to be devoted, right? So the same thing with parents and God. Same thing with parents and God. You breathe air, your duty is to maintain the air clean. Why you want to smoke? Right? You eat the apples, you owe the tree. Right? So devotion comes when you appreciate the fact that you have received this and humbly say, thank you. Thank God for what I have. So now, it's devotion that gives you power now. Look at that. I'm going to compare to that now. When you are devoted, you have power. So take the wife. When she is devoted to the husband becomes happier. And then what happens to her? She becomes happier. He becomes a king, she becomes a queen. You see why important it is for a woman to be so devoted? Right? The men are not going to be that devoted. The women are the ones going to push the man up. So a good wife, a great partner pushes the man up because he's going to become king. And then she becomes queen. Right? Now if she refuses to push him up, if she refuses to make him go up there, what will happen? He will fall, and then who will fall? She will fall. The greatness of devotion. How devotion gives you power. In other words now, if you're there's what you call false devotion now, right? The wife marries, and she says she wants her own job. He wants his own job. Then they want their own account. They have separate bank accounts, and they want to say, well, listen, I will buy the grocery, you pay for the light. The divorce has already started. The devotion is not there anymore. It should all be together, isn't it? Because you're devoted to each other. Right? So divorce starts the minute you say you want your own bank account. Right? It's already mentally established. But then when you get married with someone, when you're with someone, you are devoted together, everything together. You do it. I know it's amazing that the vows says that, but nobody follows the vows. The vows say, together we will face all hardships. Together we will stay good in bad times and in good times. But nobody pays attention to that now. Right? In bad times she leaves, or he leaves. In good times you come back. So there's no devotion. So this world now is lack of devotion, which is why today we have all these job problems, all these economic problems, because the companies are not devoted to the customers, like AIG and so on. Citibank. Right now you go to the bank, you've got to pay a fee for saving your money. When did that happen? You know, you want to save your money, they should give you interest. Because they're holding your money. But now, you have to pay a fee to save your money. When you see things like that, you know the world is going wrong. Right? So when the bank, where you take your money to save it, decides to charge you fees. Look at that. Because the whole purpose, original purpose of the bank taking your money was to invest it and make money and interest from your money. Right? You know. So, good idea, you should open a bank that takes money and invests in monthly charity fees, and you probably come to you. But the whole idea is getting to that point now where it's lack of devotion. There's no devotion anymore. And so the country goes downward. Everything is going downward. Right? We need devotion. Why? Because we need devotion. Because from devotion we get power. Now let's take the benefits of devotion. Right? If you are devoted, you feel a sense of purpose. Because if you're not devoted, there's no sense of purpose. Right? So when you are devoted, you have a sense of purpose. For example, I come every day, every week, to sit down here and teach you. What's the sense of purpose? The sense of purpose is I feel that whatever I'm doing is helping. And because it's helping to make people feel better, life better, healthier, better advice and so on, then I feel happy that I've accomplished the purpose. That's helping the world. So there again, all of a sudden the guy who's in prison, after he lost all his millions of dollars, he's serving food in the prison. He's volunteering to cook. Don't pay anybody to cook in here. They just get the prisoners to volunteer to cook. And then somebody presses the clothes as well. In the prison. And then it's amazing how humble they've become. This is the guy who once sat on a millionaire's chair. It's exactly what Madhav is doing now. Right? Once sat in a millionaire's chair, and now he's serving and helping people, passing the clothes around and the uniforms around. Look at that. So in one day, you can be all the way down, or in one day you can all the way down. But what saves you from all of that? Devotion. Because devotion gives you the power now to understand that you are in control of your own life. And you understand and you're thankful to the universe. Because if he was devoted to his customers, if Maharaj was devoted to his customers, he would not cheat them. He would not have robbed them. He would not make false statements and say, you have so much interest, high interest in your company. The lack of devotion is what created all these people to lose their money, and so lack of devotion. So everybody is doing things without devotion. The doctors, they are doing it for money. Oh, the more operations we do, the more money we make. Why? Because we have to buy a bigger house. So lack of devotion. Right? Now I'm telling you, I'm going to give you a good example. Jessica should follow my example. You invite a guy and you give him some nice food, you cook some very nice, devote yourself to making this food so perfect. Right? And you invite him and you cook for him and you make this nice food and everything. And do that a few times and watch what happens. Every time he goes to eat in a restaurant, he will think about your food. Because the restaurant food will taste such good. Right? Every time he eats a sandwich, he'll say, oh boy, I have some good food over there that the other day. Right? He'll think of you. Now here's what happens. I like to kill the people with devotion.